We are going to have a look at the Clinician view, being demonstrated in Compucare version 8.30. The Clinician's view is basically an outpatient check-in screen with patients already booked in. Traditionally, our application has been mainly administrative. However, the Clinician's view is designed with the clinician in mind, giving the ability to perform and record more clinical tasks, such as requesting orders or prescribing medications. Let's get logged in and see how it looks. This screen shows us which patients we have in today. It gives us basic information such as who our patients are, the time of their appointments, and the duration of the appointment. We are able to also review results, like so. We can also do this from up here as well. The screen does default into today's date, but we have select specific dates here so we can change this. We have our filters across the top, and we can choose whether we want to include room-led bookings, if relevant. If we want to start an appointment, we can either double-click on the appointment like so, or we can click our Start Appointment button. Let's go and have a look inside. When we're on our complete appointment screen for our patient, we can see the patient information here. We can also see the episode of care information. If we want to, we can add an actual procedure, and we can add our timeline on as well. So if we choose our timeline option, this is a new patient, so there isn't much information here. We will look at that with the patient with more detail shortly. We have our appointment details here, and we can record any observations or findings. This is a smart text box, so we can use our external codes to pull through the full details, like so. And we can record any conversations that we've had with the patient as well. Once we've done that, we then choose our outcome, like so, and it gives us some options. We can choose our new waiting list start date, we can add any notes in, and if we need to, we can request any procedures as well. Anything below the outcomes is in fact default form related. This is a form that's pulled through from the clinician. We will have a look at the setup at the end of the video. This is all relevant to whether this is a first appointment or a follow-up appointment for this clinician. Once we've added our observations and findings to our bookings, any details that are entered here are saved and then visible from within the timeline as well. Once we've filled in our form information, we do also have the to-do options on the right-hand side. As I said, this is a new patient, so we don't currently have any results to review. We do have the option to view any form results, allergies, medications, follow-up orders, or prescribed items. The large tiles lead us to the history for the patient, whereas the plus icons lead us to a shortcut for add for relevant for that patient. For example, add medications will take us to add new, and we can fill in the details for the patient. We have had the conversation with the patient and they have informed us that they're taking over-the-counter pain medication to deal with their issue. So we can add the information in here. We can state that it's from the patient. We can add a diagnosis if relevant. We also have a dosage, which is a smart text box. We can see that through the little wand on the right hand corner here. This allows us to add a shortcut for the option, and it will pull through the full details like so. We can specify the start date and end date. We can add any free text notes, and we can also specify a prescriber if needed. And if we click save, that'll add that to the patient's medication. Let's go and have a look at a patient with a bit more information. On selecting my other patient, we can see that they have more of a history for us to view in the timeline. This is all chronological. We have filters here as well. So if I choose my filter for orders, I'll only see any orders that the patient has had. As well as that, on our to-do list, we have a little bit more information that we can view from the history of the patient. If we go to our allergies section, we can see that the patient has an allergy entry here for anodine. If we close out of this and return, and we go to our review results section, we'll be able to see any service requests that the patient has had in the past. We can specify modalities if we only wish to view one certain modality. We can also view reports from within here as well, like so. Whilst in the review results screen, we do also have the option to see graphs depending on the type of results that we have. So we have some pathology results here for a full blood count. You can see the individual results. If we were to click into one of these, we can see this says high range here. If we click in, it will then generate a graph for us so we can visually see the individual results that have been tracked over different appointments during different times. And then you can see quite clearly whether the patient is getting better or worse via the graph as well. We also have a compact mode being released in 831. This allows more results to be viewed per screen. We also have user story 43297, auto create orders from a checked form component for consultants during a consultation, due to be released in Compucare 831. We also have the option to request a follow-up order. If we go to our shortcut of add follow-up order, it will take us to our add order application. We can select our service requests from here, and we also have the option for top 50 used. This will show us the top 50 used orders for this clinician that have been completed recently. This is for ease of selection really. Let's have a look at where we set up our default forms against our clinicians. I'm going to edit my current clinician, and we can see what he has set up against him at the moment. Under my edit person clinician option, on the right hand side I have a default first appointment form and default follow-up appointment form. From within here I can choose what I would like to default in for any first appointments that I may see, and then I can choose what I would like to default in for any follow-up appointments I might see. This is what pulls through on the clinician's view screen. Let's look at the settings behind our outcomes. I've gone to the outcomes code table and I'm going to edit one of our options. You can see the specific outcome name. This is what's available on the drop-down. You can then choose if the outcome adds the patient to a waiting list and which one they will be added to. Episode of care source that the outcome will be available on, and if the outcome updates the RTT period status and to what. You can also decide which record types the outcome is available to. We then have some toggles. We have completes episode of care and what completion reason it will use. We can choose to mark the patient as deceased. We can cancel the patient from all waiting lists, and again what cancellation reason to use. It can set decision to admit. We can then choose if the outcome is site specific, add any free text notes, and of course place the record on stop if it's no longer in use.